fish on. Now that was only third cast, and it's only small. You can swim this way, or has it come off? It's either very small, could have even come off. Sorry, I can't quite put my light on. Let's see if I can. I know it is still on there. Well, it was just swimming this way the whole time. It is bass, just a little one. But here we go. Beautiful. Now I actually had a knock. There we are, lovely little shiner. And there we go, that was only third cast. So lovely little bass there, taking on the Savage Gear paddle tail gravity stick. So I'm happy about that. Get a quick photo and get him released. Right, I'm just going to get this bass on hook now. Look at that, he's perfectly hooked in the side of the mouth there. Couldn't get any better. I've just got to watch out for these little waves coming in. There we go, he's popped off. Just got to be careful with these lures because you don't want to damage them if you're taking the fish off the hook. Right, little buddy. He's definitely a feisty one. But there we are. One bass, covered in sand. But what a beautiful way to start the day. Let's get him back. Now, I don't really fancy getting a booty here. And off he goes. Lovely job. There's the lure I'm using. This is the first time I've been using these, and I bought these in mind for this exact location, fishing in the dark. And third cast, the first time of using them, and we got ourselves a little bass. So yeah, second cast, I actually had a knock as soon as the lure hit the water. And I think it was obviously another fish of that size. This is I think it's a 6.0 hook, so just must have not connected properly. But that's a good sign. Now I'm going to get back out there, see if we can find another. Now literally all I was doing for that, I had the rod tip down low, and it was just a very slow, steady retrieve, just like this. Now I'm fishing straight off the beach, so haven't got any snags or anything like that. So you can just bounce it along the bottom. I'm going to get my light off now. Let's see if we can pick out another. Now basically all I do when I'm fishing straight off the shore like this is just have 5 or 6 casts in one spot, and I'll literally take 10 steps to like my right or left, have a few goes there, and I just work my way up the beach, see where the bass are, and yeah, that's it really. Now I don't believe this, but what I will admit is, after me saying I'm just fishing off a beach and there's no snags, I've literally got snagged up and I've just lost that lure. I was bouncing it along the bottom and it got trapped between a rock or something. Must have been a rock, and I couldn't get it back. So I always carry pre-tied leaders with me, and I'm just going to chuck one back on now. And another unfortunate thing is I have one more of those lures with me, but whereas the one I was just using was belly weighted. Man, I hate doing this in the dark. This one's not, so it's a weedless hook again. I think it's a 6.0, but it's unweighted, this one, but we'll give it a try. And the tide's rising, so there's only a certain amount of time I'm actually going to get off the shore here before you can't get to the ground you want to cover, really. Right, what the hell's going on here? But yeah, unfortunate that. Just as I was saying, there's no bloody snags. Get snagged up. Not what you need at 5 in the morning. And neither is a tangle like I have now. But anyway, I'll get this sorted out, get back out there. Now, in the midst of all the commotion of that, I'm finally sorted. However, with the tide whipping in now, I'm actually going to put a diver on, get it a bit further out there and target the ground I want to be hitting whilst I can still get to it. So yeah, let's give this a try. Well, I'm just going to move along the beach again. I've had about 6 or 7 casts with this and nothing happening yet. I'm just going to move a bit further along. Give it a go here. Can we get another bass? Big or small, I don't mind. Right, so we've got a faint bit of daylight showing now. So in the next half an hour it should start to get light. Sunrise isn't for another sort of 45 minutes, an hour or so. But I'm going to keep going straight off the shore, and then what I might do is just head back to my car, have a quick coffee or drink, something, and as it gets light I'll come back down and I might chuck a surface lure out from the rocks or something. So we'll see. Another fish on, guys. It's just a small one again. Now I'm trying to actually have my light on this time so you can see something, but it does mean I can't see what the hell I'm doing. It's very small, but it is a fish nonetheless. Can hear him kicking, bringing in nice and slowly. And there we go, fish number 2. Same size, or in fact even a tiny bit smaller. But there we are, beautiful. So there we have it, fish number 2. Again, just small, nothing to write home about obviously. Taking on the IMA Suzuki Sand Borer mullet. So I'll get him unhooked and get this guy back. So there we go. There we go. Another small sandy bass. We don't mind. That's what we get up for in the morning, just to catch. Go get him back now. There he goes. See you later, buddy. The water, by the way, is crystal clear today. Really, really nice clear water. Right, well I was going to head back to my car and grab a drink and then come back down, but I'll give it 2 or 3 more casts now. See if there's any more. Now again, the retrieve I was doing there was just very slow, steady retrieve, just like that. I was giving it the occasional knock. I'm on. There we go, just like that. Well, that's what worked for the first two, and that's what's worked for this one as well. Again, small, but how about that? That's the only retrieve you need, nothing fancy. All these bass are really, really small, but it makes it worth coming out, you know. You're not blanking, you're catching something. It's nice to see some small bass around, you know, they'll be the future ones, providing they survive their tough lifestyle. This one's actually putting up a fairly decent scrap. Just walking back. And there we go. Number 3. Brilliant. Perfectly hooked as well, look at that, right in the side of the mouth. That'll come out nice and easy. So happy days. There we go, he's popped clean off. And I've got a reel full of sand now. But yeah, there we have it. Just like I was saying, slow, steady retrieve. Oh, he's a bit lively. And that's how it's done. Through the legs, and off he goes. Right, I'll have one more cast before going back to the car. Let's just do the same retrieve again. Now these bass are just going to be patrolling the shoreline, so as long as you keep on going, you'll come into them again. You cover the ground, they cover the ground. But you never know, there might be a bigger one lurking around somewhere. Now we've just got to first light. It's bang on 6:30. Sunrise is at about 8 minutes past 7, so obviously it's getting to the first stages of daylight now. So what I'm going to do is I have the Pachinko 125, and because this travels quite a fair distance, I'm going to blast this out and see if I can still get over the ground I was fishing for the other bass, and see if yeah, any bass want to take a surface lure as the sun's coming out. I'm in. Second cast with the surface lure, and a pretty odd thing is happening because I've got a bird chasing it. But that was second cast with the surface lure. There's a load of seagulls just come since the since the sun has come up, and they were watching that lure like a hawk, and then all of a sudden a bass took it. There's still 3 of them around now, but here we go. I just realised I had the camera pointed down there, sorry. But there we are, bass number 4. Bass number 4 on lure number 3. I'll just get my light on because it's probably still a bit dark on this camera. There we go. Beautiful. There we have it. Bass number 4 of the morning. First one on the Pachinko 125. Now let's get him back. Well, what an absolutely cracking morning this is turning out to be. I've just noticed another angler come down, and I was actually gonna shout to him. He's quite a long way down the beach and he's just moved even further down. I was gonna actually shout to him and say, come up here, but he's gone even further down now. But yeah, that was second cast with the pachinko there, and like I was saying, a couple of birds clocked the lure, and I thought, oh no, here we go. I was getting ready for them to dive down and have a swipe at it, and then all of a sudden that little bass popped up, and happy days. Again, a slow retrieve, but obviously with a lot of twitches and pauses with the surface lure. And although I can't actually see the lure on the water because there's a slight ripple in the sea and we haven't got full daylight yet, but you can always guess where it is. And obviously if you see a splash and it doesn't connect, just stop the lure dead in its tracks, leave it for a second or two, and then carry on with your retrieve, and 9 times out of 10 they'll come back and hit it. So really great to get a few bass this morning, and really great to get them on a variety of lures. If I hadn't have lost that first one, the Savage Gear, I would have probably just carried on fishing with that and it would have kept on catching, but it's nice to get them on a variety. So I'll give it a few more casts with this, and then I'll go back to my car for my coffee. I just had a big splash, really far out at distance. It's not come back. So they're definitely still out there. That splash was it wasn't actually next to my lure, it was about, I don't know, 7 or 8 feet away. But again, it's the patch that I was fishing over when the tide was lower. There's a certain area around here which you want to target, because most of the time that's where the fish are. Right then, I'm going to give it the one more cast and then I'm off. Bolt it right out there. Let's see if we can get one final hit on the last cast. If not, it's been a brilliant morning. But apart from that one more splash, haven't had any other indications of any hits or anything. Right then, that's all for this morning's session. I've left the spot now and I've just driven down the coast, parked up, just going to have a quick cup of coffee, look out. It's turned into quite a nice day. It's a bit of a breeze, but yeah, it should be quite a nice still day. Not a lot of swell, not a lot of chop to the water, so yeah, should be a cracker. It's a good little session, that. None of the fish are big, but still really nice to, I like catching anything, I don't care about size. And it was good to get on the Savage Gear gravity stick, even though I ended up losing it afterwards, which was a bit unfortunate. It must just have been like a random rock sticking out, and somehow I managed to snag it and lose the lure. But yeah, I mean, I would have carried on fishing with that, so in a way it's a blessing in disguise, because I could have carried on catching on it, but I switched up lures, and I always like catching on a few different lures. I like a bit of variety in a session. Yeah, so great little morning. Also shows that once the sun comes up and you get a bit of daylight, always worth putting a surface lure on, and sort of the first bit of light of the day, the bass tend to like the surface lure, so yeah, most of the time if they're about, they're going to hit it. I hope you can take something from this video. It's really difficult filming in the dark, obviously. GoPros don't do too well in the dark, and it's just difficult generally, but I hope once I look back at the footage it turns out alright, make a half decent video of it. But yeah, keep watching, there'll be plenty more to come, loads more bass fishing as always. Please like the videos, subscribe if you're not, share the channel. It all helps greatly, and it's really appreciated. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you back out on the rocks sometime soon.